What's going on, everyone? It's Courtney Rollins from the Aqua Team.
And Shenita.
Hey, we're here with the Capacity to Be REI meetups. We come out here every third Thursday. It's virtual out in this world, and we find people that are in the world of real estate investing and interview them and ask questions and bring it to you all so that we all can grow and learn. Again, I'm Courtney from Aqua Team Properties. We are a wholesaling company out in Baltimore, Maryland, and that's what we primarily focus on, wholesaling, which is pretty much just the art of finding discounted properties, usually talking directly to sellers, finding out what their issue is, and quite often trading speed and convenience for a discounted price. But there are a ton of other things that you can do. And once you're able to do that, you're able to dispose of it in tons of different ways, which quite often can bring income to you, can bring wealth to you in different strategies, and can solve a lot of problems in people's world. So we were very excited about that. And if you want to do deals out there, you're in the Baltimore area or in North Carolina area, whatever, reach out to us, holler at us. Ms. Shenita may be able to give us our social media handles and all that good stuff. Oh yeah, I can, we can drop it in the chat. So we usually record these and share these in YouTube. So you may be looking at this in the YouTube world and we can throw it out there. So, our Instagram's aquateam_properties. What is it, ATP?
ATP, Courtney-Shenita for Facebook.
Yeah.
Aqua Team Properties also is our business page on Facebook as well. TikTok is
Aqua Team Buy Homes, Aqua Team Buy Homes, or something like that. Yeah, we'll put them all in the liner notes so you all can find it, or you can do a Google search. And hopefully, I think we should come up ranked pretty strongly. But regardless, check us out, holler at us. We love growing.
TikTok is Aqua Team Buy Homes.
I had it right.
YouTube, Aqua Team Properties LLC.
Yeah, awesome. And so for this particular meetup, we were going to actually interview each other, share our story and our journey, and where we've come from and where we're trying to grow, and then open it up to folks who are here. It's a very intimate space right now. We got my man Fran, who is here checking out, hollering at us, and we might flip the script and start hollering at Fran and see what he's doing in the world of real estate, because he sounded like you said you had your own podcast and all that good stuff.
Yeah, I do a podcast, but it's not real estate related. So
what's your podcast on?
It's a podcast. We do it, me and my partner Alvin, we do a true crime podcast. So I know it's not real estate related, so people may not even be interested, but when our podcast,
shout it out.
Exactly.
Yeah, so it's called Affirmative Murder. It's on anywhere you can get podcasts. So what we like to do is, it's two African American men. We like to talk about stories of people of color that's murderers, or that's been or victims in Black communities, that's mostly marginalized communities. So that's what we like to focus on.
Yeah. It's called Affirmative Murder.
Yeah, it's called Affirmative Murder. Yeah.
Wow, powerful title too, man. Yeah, appreciate that. Yeah, that's actually one of the lenses that we brought Capacity to Be from. Like, I come from the world of education, where really slanted towards social justice education, and even you have a background in working in social justice action out in the federal civil world, and even when we think about Capacity to Be, we try to find people who are from underrepresented and sometimes historically marginalized populations. It's great to to see people that look, sound like you. We learn and can grow and work with any and everyone,
right?
And it's definitely important to see folks that can model how a story can be, to add to your story. So yeah, with that being said, man, Fran, thank you here, man. And Shenita and I will definitely just chat and share where we are. Again, we have 3 questions to ask each other. She just typed her questions up, so I don't know what she's going to ask me, but I did give her what I was going to ask her. But before we do that, how about you share who you are? I talk all the time. I'm the one out there loud, got my face all on YouTube, but she's the behind the scenes, not the silent partner, because she definitely works hard. But how about I shut up and share who you are and share our story about where Aqua Team got to where we are here.
Hi, friends, and everyone else. It's nice to meet you. I'm Shenita Melvin. I am co-owner of Aqua Team Properties. My role in the company is basically handling our disposition. So after Courtney worked so hard at finding and locking up deals, he sends it to me. I do the marketing and then try to find end buyers to take the properties off of our hands. So that's really my role in the company.
I dig it. And we do have, this is definitely a team sport. So we have several other folks who work with us and helped us, and you've probably seen them if you've checked out any of our content beforehand. But it's awesome to have a team to work with, and yeah, teamwork makes the dream work. So let's jump into it then. Again, so I'm gonna jump with my first question for you, Shenita. What got you into the world of real estate, and how, what do you do? I mean, I didn't just ask you that question. What do you do? But what got you into the world of real estate? What brought you to this space right here, right now?
So as far as my W-9 is concerned, I'm a licensed mental health counselor by day. And I love the work that I do. I work with veterans who struggle in substance abuse. Something that I went to school a lot of years to be able to do, and I do love it. The issue is I still depend on my career in order to be able to have a roof over my head, food in my belly. And I really did not see a pathway to wealth, just solely being a therapist. So investing has always been something that I've been interested in. And I talked to Courtney about it early on. And at that time, I think he was considering it. I don't think he was as gung-ho about it as I was. But the funny thing is, years passed, and then all of a sudden, Courtney got bit by the bug. And when he got bit by the REI bug, he took off with it. We went and attended or paid for a class. Vina Scott Jones, that's her name, right?
Vina Jones Cox.
Vina Jones Cox.
Yeah, Vina Jones Cox. She's still doing her thing.
Yeah, and
awesome.
Went through that training. Courtney mainly did. And that's really where it all started. We had a plan that we were going to solely focus on wholesaling. The one thing about our partnership that I think worked so well is that we kind of balance each other. Courtney is known for speed, and I'm known for being the speed break. So Courtney, from jump, we were going to focus on wholesaling. The first 2 properties that we got under contract, Courtney decided that he wanted to keep.
Yeah, it was a matter of I think having just enough information to hurt yourself, and it was like when the dog catches the car, and the first one went very smooth, and then the second one not so much, and it was a big struggle, and a lot of things happened. I think we had to replace the water system, and had to have some reserves. Some things happened with our funding that made a huge mistake that cost us a lot. So we learned a lot from that, still learning from that. And yeah. I definitely agree.
I think that definitely agree. For us, and I think that that's one of the benefits of having a space like this, is that we can come together and share stories and learn from one another. But I think for us, we just jumped in as newbies a little too fast, taking down 2 properties essentially at the same time. And we have since then learned to better pace ourselves. And so we did kind of get back on track. And in really January of 2020.
At the end of January 2020, beginning of February.
January 2020, February 2020. Things just took off for us. The pandemic has been terrible for so many people. We've been fortunate to be able to utilize this time to really delve and pour more into Aqua Teen Properties. And 2020 was an extremely good year for us and our company. I think one of the things that's the most important that we're continuing to do is we're developing systems, tracking what works and what doesn't. We're working on building our team. Courtney could, tell you more about, the team that we built. And eventually we're wanting to develop a well-oiled machine where we're not having to be behind the driving seat all the time, where we can employ staff that we can trust and that knows the mission. And that's what we're working towards.
Yeah. So I do remember 2018. It was pretty cool. I think we had actually, we were in a relationship, we had just gotten engaged. I was still director of diversity, equity, inclusion. I started like looking at books like Rich Dad Poor Dad, and a couple of my friends also, instead of just always using like group text and group messages to like just chat about silly or dumb things, we started focusing on financial literacy and different books and all. And of course, came across Rich Dad Poor Dad, which is the same book that has lit the fire for so many people. And real estate was just always like just in there as a one of the primary ways that you can get into that quadrant where you're trading other people's time for money, or trading your making money working and produce more money for you. And yeah, so really, like she said, got bit, but it took still a whole year. And even in January of the go forward, fast forward a full year, when you said that we took off, I think more so to me, we focused on wholesale. You know, we listened to folks like Max Maxwell and Brent Daniels who were like, yo, wholesaling, this is talk to people. They just made it seem so simple, so accessible, and so doable. And even then, it still took us until June
It did, to get our first
to get
deal.
we had like 12 deals on the contract that for whatever reason could, fall through. But we just kept pushing, kept applying the simple, small steps. And so for me, it was extremely successful because it saw like the hard work actually build traction. And I think by the end of the year, I mean, we had 15 deals and maybe they were about 10K average, 112 came into us, which, some people out there are doing crazy more amounts, and our assignments aren't huge. And that's again a point where we need to focus. So we're not acting like we're perfect at all. So
we're
like
still learning like every single day.
But I still feel extremely successful because we actually say, yo, we're going to actually try this and we're going to do this, and we actually know that we're putting the action behind it. So I already feel extremely successful. That's what I love, like the process. I love process. I love having something to work towards, particularly something that's going to give me and my folks and people wealth and income and time freedom and all that stuff. So it's been a fun journey, but I think you answered at least how we got to this space right here and all. Did you have a question for me, or did you want to go to my next question? I will pull up my cheat sheet to see what I asked next.
You can go to your next question.
All right. Oh yeah, how since you started digging into the real estate investing world, how do you think you've changed from when you started out to where you are now?
I think there is more confidence there. Not that we know everything. We're still, like I mentioned, like learning every single day. But before, it was something that seemed possible. But now we've walked the walk, and we know that it is that we're doing it. That we turned it into a reality. And so there's a confidence there, knowing that as long as we continue to do the necessary work, that we can build wealth just like anyone else. Like if others can do it, so can we.
I think that. I really love how it's becoming clearer and clearer to me how important it is to be intentional about the habits that you do develop. Because those small habits are what like push you towards reaching those goals. Yeah. That's been a cool journey thus far. A little charm in the spotlight here. All right, so working with, you already mentioned about like us having a balance with each other as far as road or speed and balance and boundaries and speed bumps. Yeah. So what would you say, what are some other challenges working in partnership? And yeah, so that's the first one. What are some challenges working in partnership? And what would you offer to folks who may be looking at this or thinking about being in a partnership, or things you would say are important to
the hardest thing really is finding a balance between two different mindsets. I mean, people, we're different. We're all unique and different. And so as far as partnership, it's very important that you have the same end goal, even though the routes to that end goal, the opinions regarding the routes may vary. The same end goal and mindset regarding that is important. Communication is huge, like probably number one, so that everyone can just work together and know exactly where we are, identify areas of deficiency. It's not about, in my opinion, pointing fingers or trying to find blame. It's a matter of just making the partnership itself as strong as possible. So, and one of your sayings, go-to sayings all the time is iron sharpens iron. Two heads together, majority of the time, are better than one, in my opinion. And so I think that that's what served us well, but it definitely is a challenge.
I think, appreciate you saying it. I think one of the challenges, like especially if you're in a partnership or if you've been in a partnership where you like living with somebody and all, it's really hard to turn it off sometimes. And I can get really obsessed by it and go in. But there's sometimes when in the past where I haven't wanted to talk about it, or and she's talking about a deal or a lead, and I'm like, oh come on. And I know there's times where I've been talking about.
Very rarely is it.
There's times, but I'll jump to it because it'll get me sparked after a while. So I think people say balance, but that's sometimes you got to be obsessed to be able to get traction on things, but still finding times and ways to turn it off.
And we have not done well with that, honestly. So what everyone is learning is that our relationship has shifted from being, Courtney mentioned, engaged to now solely business partners. So we are no longer significant others. And I think that if we had it to do it all over again, we probably still would have, we would have entered into this journey of entrepreneurship. But it has been definitely it took a toll on our relationship. But as you can see, we're still in a really good spot and place. We just have kind of shifted things or pivoted, as our mentors, I think that's our mentor's favorite word, pivoted a little bit. And now we are just solely business partners. But it is so very important, as Courtney was mentioning, you've got to be able to turn it off. You've got, because even with just straight business partnerships, like you would think that they're at the core of that, there's a friendship. And so you're not going to always want to talk about REI. There's other things that you want to do to still cultivate those relationships in order to be, as successful as possible.
It can be, especially with our history with our relationship. It definitely could present challenges, and I mean, a great thing that there's trust there, but also along with that is the opportunity to make sure that our business acumen is up so high, our building, that we're taking care of making sure our operating agreements and our the way we communicate and decide, hey, this is how we're going to do things, and how processes are as tight as they can be, so that there is open communication and there is transparency. And having a team helps with that as well, and having a coach helps with that as well, and taking advantage of different resources such as Traction is a great one. It's a EOS, Entrepreneurial Operating System model that's out there. You should find, I can't remember the name of the folks who actually do it. It's a great book, as well as a great approach to taking it and treating your business as if it's just a business, and thinking about, okay, what's the vision? What are the different components that need to be there to make sure this thing can function and be sustainable? And hopefully those will alleviate some of those issues. And maybe for the next, even though it didn't alleviate for us as well, but it's still great to be able to. I got a lot of pride in the Aqua team, and I know she has a lot of pride, and I feel like we both, deserve see it grow. And it's great to grow with somebody who can balance out, and we can balance each other out together. So yeah, those are
Yeah,
those
I
are
kind of
that's part of the journey. Yeah.
I kind of see like we're still on this journey together, instead of like this, we're like this still parallel though. And so Courtney, I believe with every fiber of my being, still wants the best for me, and I feel the exact same for him. And I think that that's what's gonna make Aqua Team continue to be successful for here on out. But I'm kind of getting into one of the questions I have for you, actually.
Oh yeah. What's that?
So,
What it is? Talk to me.
can you help? How do I get to it? Thank you. All right. So, I would like to know from you, Courtney, why is it that you feel that we will continue to be successful together in real estate investing now that we've shifted from being life partners to solely business partners?
That's a great question. Well, I think you spoke to earlier when we talked about like how intentional we've been about sharing the vision, and even though like it's hard to turn it off, there is a like when we're in that Aqua Team space, it is the Aqua Team space. So I would hope and believe that like some of the things that we put in place and goals that we have like allow us to be successful, allow us to do that. And if in the future something does happen, we'd also have those red button contingency plans that hopefully wouldn't take place. But regardless, I know I'm a different person 3 or 4 years ago, and wouldn't be a part of Aqua Team or wouldn't have this path with me if it had been like us being a part of the relationship and the journey. So it's I'm always gonna be grateful for the growth that I've allowed to be able to just have, and shoot, you too as well. So yeah, so that's why I'm hoping. I believe that our vision, our shared vision, is big enough and bigger than just us separately. The Aqua Team is what it is.
Yeah,
Stay
I
ready.
agree. Right. And that's exactly what I was going to say from the very beginning. One of our mantras has been stay ready, team swim. And I believe that, for the bulk of our relationship, we had challenge after challenge after challenge. And we were able to overcome that and support each other through various different things. And so I really firmly believe that we will continue to be able to overcome challenges, as business partners from here on out.
Yeah.
Okay, let's see. My other question for you. What would you say has been the toughest learning lesson that you have had so far on our journey of real estate investing and wholesaling?
There's been a lot of tough lessons. I think maybe the first 2 properties. I'm glad we grabbed them. Glad we have them. And even the way we acquired them, the group of gentlemen, BUI, and the brothers that provide the private investment, and then be able to find the whole thing was a great journey, but having to convert what we thought was going to be something quickly come out to more of a long-term play for like the investors and stuff like that. That's what I feel is one of the bigger challenges. And so just to be even more clear, one of the powerful things of real estate is if you find a deal, it can be a strong investment. You can find folks who can put their money together, and if you give them a strong return, they'll invest with you. And I had a group of great friends. I have a group of great friends who are also interested in real estate investing, who invested in those first 2 properties, and we're hoping to get the money back sooner than we were able to. But we had to convert those to like monthly loan installments. They're getting 15% return on investment, which is awesome, but it didn't go as planned. I would rather have the funds out. So of course we're making sure that they become whole, but just going through that has been like, oh, how do I pivot? How do I shift? How do I, they have trust in me and all that stuff. And even now with our focus on wholesaling and Aqua Team and how that's been more successful than the buy and hold space for us, which are completely different games. It's it just reminds me how important it is to just to focus, and it reminds me of like, oh, know your space. I love talking to sellers. I love solving problems. I love locking up deals and host. I'm a deal junkie, going from deal to deal to deal and sticking to that, like project management and subcontracts and all that stuff. And it sounds like something that. So she's also not just only disposition and wholesaling, as we're still acquiring properties, because that's how you generate wealth, right? Buy and hold, that's how you generate long-term wealth. But if we have to rehab or something, we know who we're going to be, who continue even now with the properties we have.
And that's relatively new.
Yeah, that's a cool thing, because.
But I think it was important, Courtney has oftentimes tried to burn the candle from both ends, and I've tried to find ways that I could step up and take some things off of his plate, and that really is one major area, project management,
right,
that I have now taken on, and trying to get one property to the finish line and another property that we should be closing on in the next couple of days. I will be managing that, and so stay tuned. You guys will have updates.
Awesome,
Property in North Carolina.
Yeah, taking it back home. Heck yeah. All right, so you want about
one more?
Oh, I'm on a hot seat now. She giving me hard questions. I don't know.
They're not that hard. But so I have witnessed your commitment to the growth of Aqua Team Properties, and I have seen on a daily basis the importance that you've placed on reciting positive affirmations. You call them savers, I know, but positive affirmations in the morning and at night. So how has that helped to kind of grow or strengthen the commitment that you have to REI and our company?
Yeah. Well, those, like, saying affirmations or commitments and all that stuff, that's that old school Napoleon Hill, Think and Grow Rich, or even before that, power of prayer, the power of meditation and all. It's really helped me, again, what I was talking earlier about finding the right habits. That is a great habit. And if I can channel my mind and my brain and my heart and all to be directed towards my goals every day by reciting it out loud. Oh yeah, I'm getting calls and leads coming in, baby. Hey, that's phone to make money. But if I focus on that, then then it's always gonna stay in front of me. It's gonna grow. Where you put your attention towards, when I put my attention toward grows, and I can be a creature of habit. So like having it in front there reminds me, like saying it out loud with passion reminds me I got to get it done. And I didn't make that up. They're straight from success leaves clues. And I've seen a lot of successful multimillionaires who also seem like they are enjoying their life and living a valued life. Do that. So if they do that, I'm gonna do that. So yeah. And you mentioned savers real quick. Shout out to Hellrod. He actually looked at a lot of folks who were successful in different ways, whether it's like, wealth or business or sports or anything. And he noticed they had basically like 6 different things they would do every morning. They would wake up early, which was a characteristic of not one of the 6 of savers. But they would always like have some form of silence, which is prayer and meditation. They would have some form of affirmation or, commitment or whatever that they would say to themselves. They would have some form of visualization where they would write out the day's schedule, certain obstacles they have, most important next steps, all that stuff. They would make sure that's written out. The E is exercise, some form, whether it's 5 seconds of jogging, jumping jacks, or 45 minutes or whatever intense, some form of exercise in the morning. And then they are reciting, which is reading. I'm sorry, reciting, read. I read like 10 minutes a day, or not 10 minutes, 10 pages a day. At the end of the day, that's end of the year. That's I don't know, I taught 2nd grade. My friends laugh. I ain't the best. I'm not the best. It's a lot of books. It's like 10 books, 20. I don't know. It's a lot of books. It's a lot of pages. But regardless, I know if I do that, I ain't got to count. I just know I'm reading 10 pages a day, and I went through a lot of books, and I'm learning a lot, and I get to take that stuff from other folks. And then the last thing is scribe. So you're actually writing out your thoughts. I try to do that every morning, and that gives me like the right habits. And if I win the morning, I done won most of the day, and I'm sure I'm already halfway, there. So yeah, I appreciate you noticing that. I hope it doesn't sound ad nauseum when I've done that in the past, but I will continue to do it. And it'll be funny and interesting and cool how the affirmations change as we be successful and pivot and do all those things. But yeah. So I know we have a couple of folks up here. I'm gonna wrap up. I'll ask you like what you want to leave folks with any thoughts, because again, we do record this and share it with folks. Again, we're just sharing our journey, and that's success leaves clues. A lot of people do that as well, and we're trying to have an abundance mindset. Please like, subscribe, share, all that good stuff. Give us feedback, critiques, comments. If you want to deal together, holler about wholesale and real estate investing. I'm a complete open book. She's a complete open book. Well, I'm more open book than she is, but we definitely open. We open books. We want to share, and again, we're trying to learn. So if you see something that we're doing that's like, hey, you got some tips for us, please let us know. So what's the last thing you want to leave folks with, Ms. Shenita, before we open up to anybody in the space with us?
Basically, I just want to encourage people to continue to come to this space. Like networking is key. You know, the teamwork makes the dream work. And so just keep showing up, you guys. And we're hoping to build this into a larger space where we can all give and receive. So just keep coming back, and thank you to those who have come today.
Absolutely, that's what's cool too. Like this, we have maybe 2 people start off with 1 person on here, but if we continue to grow, we continue to be consistent. I mean, 1, we're going to continue learning and find our voice and hopefully add value, and 2, it will grow because what you put your attention towards grows. So, yeah, appreciate everybody. Let's grow together, rising tides. So the folks up here. Oh, did you want to ask folks something?
No, I think we're going to open the floor, you know, now, if it's okay, so that those of you who have attended and joined us today can introduce yourself and just tell a little bit about your interest in REI. And again, thank you for coming.
Okay, so yeah, you're not forced to, but if you want to like unmute yourself and just share who you are, what you're thinking about, exactly what you just said, and I'll unmute myself.
No, I'll go ahead and go. My name is Jesse Lowry. I met Courtney, God, it's been a while, maybe a year or so ago. I had heard you on the TTP podcast with Brent. And so I had reached out to you or whatnot, and we had been talking for a while. You know, I've been on a wholesale journey myself. I'm based in Texas, but I've been working the North Carolina market as well as I just, you know, stuck my foot in Georgia just to kind of try it out. But just, you know, jumped on just to kind of hear about you all's journey. You know, I've been following you all for a while. So we're just interested to just kind of, you know, see how you all are working through the ups and downs of just not only wholesaling, but the whole facet of real estate investing. I hear you doing some buy and hold. So, you know, I've done that as well. My wife and I had a property in South Dallas, but we sold that and used that money to really start this business, as well as we purchased a property full out in Georgia. So, you know, we're on our journey as well. But, you know, for me, I'm pretty much running the show with wholesaling, but just wanted to jump on, introduce, just, you know, again, keep going. I know it's rough out here.
Heck yeah, but you know, sticking together, supporting one another. Jesse, thank you for coming. And
what's up, Jesse? Yeah.
With you being in North Carolina, we have recently shifted, you know, into the North Carolina market, and so maybe we can do some deals together.
Oh, she got her disposition hat on.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Hey, I collaboration over competition.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Anybody else want to share who they are, what they come here to get and do?
Yeah, man. So you know, I just want to speak on you. I admire you guys. Again, just like Jesse just said, you know, I heard you, Courtney, on the Wholesaling Inc. podcast. That's when I reached out to you on Instagram, because I was like, you know, I'm in Baltimore as well. I'm trying to learn the whole business. So I know we've been kind of playing phone tag, like when I was trying to get in touch with you like the last couple weeks or whatever, but it's good to finally talk to you and finally to meet your partner, Shenita. So I'm glad to be on here. But for me, I only been in the business maybe for like 2 years off and on, because I am working a 9 to 5 still, and I got 2 young ones and a fiance. So it's like hard to balance the time. I haven't done a deal yet, so I'm still trying to fight, you know, still working on trying to get my first deal. So that's why I'm trying to like network with you guys and just see, you know, just kind of pick up some tips on, you know, what I'm doing wrong and stuff like that. So I was just trying to, like you said, networking is a big thing. So that's why I'm trying to reach out to some investors out in Baltimore, just to try to link up with them, just to, you know, just trying to learn and see how they building their business. And, you know, I hear you guys building a great team, and I kind of wanted to ask you, you know, before you guys when it was just you two guys, as far as being consistent, what what did you guys do as far as, just being consistent? The consistency I know is probably my biggest issue. And I just wanted to ask you guys, how do you focus on that just to keep things going every day?
Good question.
Yeah, I try to like that Gary Keller book. The most important thing. The one thing. What's the most important next step about which doing it makes other things either easier or unnecessary? And like, what's the most important next step that's gonna get for us like really income into, as where it boiled down to, and it boiled down to talking to people, being blessed to be able to be a part of like Britt Daniels coaching, which put a lot of the ingredients together, certainly helped, because it helped us like know where to focus that, where to put that consistency.
Mm-hmm.
And once we found out where to put that consistency, and like, okay, we need to generate this three parts of the business: generating leads, converting those to deals, and selling the deals. And so every day, like putting a component towards that, I looked at the schedule. We looked and broke down. Okay, in the morning, it's hunting, calling all the unqualified, or not unqualified, but leads that haven't been qualified yet. All the leads that I got from Drive for Dollars, that we pull from Drive for Dollars. At lunchtime and on the weekends, we're in the car, we're driving for dollars, and we have a certain number or amount. But we have, we either go for an hour or we pick a certain number. And once we have that, we know we have that, and then the system is collect that through the week. And at the end of the week, skip trace, pull the list, skip trace it, so it's ready for the next week. Mm-hmm. In the afternoon, 2 to 3 hours of gathering. That's really the most important space. At the beginning, you spend a lot of space cultivating and calling, qualifying leads, so that you can build up the follow-up, which is the most important section. But you got to be able to build a pipeline with that consistent everyday thing. So I would like look at my schedule and be just realistic about your schedule. Sit down with your family and your loved ones and people who are like, stakeholders in your life, and be like, I'm doing this for this reason, I'm doing this for whatever. And if you give me this particular amount of time, and give me this particular amount of time in the day, or this particular amount of time in the week, and this particular amount of time for like, give me 3 months, 6 months, whatever it is, I'm gonna give it my all. And they see you give me all, like, yeah, she saw that I was like enthused. And even though it took us a long time, the enthusiasm was contagious. And yeah.
It was.
And but yeah. I was saying, once you like jumped in, then when she like jumped in, that's when it was like we had traction, because that's business, that's spiritual, that's God. Any one time 2 minds come together, boom. But back to your question about how do you be consistent? I would really look at my schedule, look at breakdown, and make this business so simple. Make the business as simple as possible, and then focus on those steps. Talking to people, making offers, getting people to talk to make offers, and following up with folks and getting those deals offered. And then once you get the deal, man, we definitely got to connect. But I know we've been trying so hard to connect, because I would love to like just chat and share and brainstorm mastermind. But once you get that, selling the deal is another story, which has a different flavor and art to it. And maybe you and Shenita, we all can just politic over that. But getting the deal, you got the power in your hand. Once you got that contract, then you can get it in front of folks. Does that make any sense? Or?
Yeah. It was very helpful. It's just I guess just because when I first started, maybe I do have a mentor I was working with maybe like a year ago. I still keep in touch with him just when I have some questions to ask. But me and him had 2 under contract, and then like those 2 fell through, and that was a big hit to, I guess you could say, confidence, because it was like, you kind of start asking questions like, can I do this, or this is for me type of thing. And then I just took a break. I took a break for a while, and I was like, all right, well, I'm not going to just give up on it just because 2 fell through. I'm gonna just keep on going at it. So, so since then, I've just been trying. Like, it's been off and on, only because like just my work schedule is crazy. So I'm trying to do the best I can.
Even if you can put 30 minutes a day to it, like it's more important to put like 30 minutes a day to it than put 3 hours on Tuesday and then 3 hours on Saturday and then skip it for whatever. It's literally way more important. That small, Dan Hardy compound effect, that small, that it builds up. It's like building locomotion, the confidence you got in yourself, knowing that every day you're touching your company that's going to build. Like I would find out those, even if it's 30 minutes to an hour, 3. I mean, ideally it'd be like 5 hours or 3 to 5 hours that's broken into those 3 components we were just just talking about, man. But yeah, man, 12 deals at least, man. That we like just fell through. I mean, I got recordings of me crying in the car, and that's like, but I think let's go back to the affirmations. Like, this is gonna happen. This already has happened, and all the bumps and bruises just part of the story, part of the journey. I know if I put in the time, you put in the time, put in the work, it's gonna happen. Like that's just a undefeated formula. So and all the other stuff in between where I mess up or you mess up, we fail or whatever, that's just part of it. That's just part of the character to it, part of the story. Because we're gonna keep on going I'm just gonna keep on going. We're gonna keep on going. So
and being willing to make adjustments, I guess, too. Like when we first started out, I guess in 19, our go-to method of finding leads was direct mail.
we were sending like 100 mailers a week,
and that just wasn't gonna do it.
But we got 2 deals out of it.
We got 2 deals
out of it. And we did it consistently. So yeah, dang.
But once we shifted to driving for dollars
and Brent Daniels, Max Maxwell,
that's really what helped us. And so I would just continue to be open to reevaluating, the systems that you have in place and making changes where necessary. Continuing to come to spaces like this, we will link up with you and see in what way we can help, because Courtney definitely is a go-giver, and so we'll help out in any way that we can. It's just a matter of, in order for us to try to help, we've got to figure out a way that you can carve out a section of your time and be consistent, because like Courtney was saying, like that is really what's going to work. From January of 2020 until June of 2020, when I tell you on a daily basis, this man was working like from sun up to sundown. I don't know why he can't. I don't know.
Hey, so I have ADHD.
You gotta put it on silent, bro.
Timers. If I don't have timers, it don't happen. So
but
gotta get done.
Like, can you?
I don't know how to turn it down either. I tried to turn it down. It's turned down, folks. It's like it literally turned down, but I don't know how to turn it all the way down. So
I can see how mad she getting every time that thing rings.
The challenges of partnership that we've been talking about.
I gotta make sure
listen to me all the time.
This has to get done though. It has to get done. But so I apologize, everyone.
But yeah, just like reach out to us and in any way that we can, we will help. I will also say though, Fran, you mentioned something very important. You have a family, you have a fiance.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
They have to be priority in your life too. Okay. Or you will end up like us. And we're in a good place, but that was not the end goal. The end goal was to eventually get married. But so you've got to figure out a way to prioritize family, but also make a space in order to build wealth for you and your family. Okay.
Right. Yep.
Let's definitely link up. There's another. Did you want to share who you are up here?
Mike.
Oh, it's Mike Newkirk. Oh man, that's my man Mike. Is he gonna get on here? You want to meet yourself and share who you are?
Nope.
Well, everyone, one great thing about this, like we got some really small, intimate crowd here, but it's probably best that that's one of my longtime great friends here. He just put in the chat here for support. It's a good thing that he's muted, and probably a good thing that his video's off as well, because you get to see this lovely face, but I'll make a silly jump show. But yeah, thanks, Mike. Man, really do appreciate your support.
Thank you, Mike.
Yeah, friend, that's another thing. Like, I'm pretty sure you already know this as well, man, and Jesse knows as well. But it is really so important to like surround yourself with positive, like-minded folks who are trying to be in that same space that you're in. So, like I said, let's reach out. We can all grow together. And Jesse, same thing, man. Yeah, I haven't heard from you in a while. We haven't heard from each other, man. So it was good to hear your voice. But do y'all have any like thoughts or questions or suggestions or anything y'all want to say or share before we close out? Like, how can people reach out to you all if they want to like chat? Because maybe there's somebody out there who comes across this and be like, yeah, I want to holler at Jesse because I'm over in North Carolina market. Or I'm Fran, I'm in Baltimore too. Let's get up and see how we can come together and work together.
Oh yeah. Not for me, if anybody wants to reach out, I don't have a problem with talking to individuals and just letting them know about my journey. Again, I feel your pain on the deals that that haven't followed through, but again, it's part of the story. I've had them on my end. You know, I've had some interesting situations that have just had me scratching my head, like what did I get myself into type of deal. But you know, again, it's part of our story. And you know, as you continue to push forward, you know, understanding and recognizing your why and your end goal is what kind of keeps you going, because you understand and recognize what you're pushing towards. But no, it's definitely been a pleasure, and appreciate, you know, you putting this on.
So Jesse, if someone wanted to reach out to you, see what type of deals you have in North Carolina, Georgia, I think you may have mentioned one other place, but what would be the best way of them reaching out to you? Your email, or what would you say?
Yeah, you can just find me on Facebook. You know, you just look up Jesse Lowry, and my profile picture is up there. I don't have my business Instagram up just yet, but primarily just Facebook. They can reach out to me and find me, and you know, hey, they give me their email, and I'll definitely send them what I have.
Okay, sounds good. Yeah.
About you, friend? How can people reach out to you if they want to like partner up, do a deal, or maybe y'all could? You know, there's a lot of ways to work together in real estate. How can they find you?
Yeah, man, you can find me on I'm on Instagram most of my time. I try to stay off of a lot of the social networks because it'd be too much sometimes. So I just try to stay on one thing. So yeah, you can find me on Instagram. Instagram is FranEvans91. So I'm down to just network with anybody just to try to, you know, grow and still learn this business and hopefully get some deals done before the end of 2021. So yeah, man, that's how you can find me. Yeah.
Well, that sounds great. And just a couple other things as far as finding people and all. Every Friday, 3:30 p.m. Eastern time, but I can throw the link in the Dropbox here, but I'll connect to you all. We do a role play, and it's wholesalers across the nation, and some are like super sharks and really good when it comes to negotiating and talking to folks. And others are like, yeah, I can barely put two sentences together. I even put my cold callers from the Philippines on there, and they sometimes get eaten up on there because it's just there's a different sensibilities and there could be some insecurities, but it's great for us to grow and to learn, and they realize, oh, we're all here learning together, so it really can be a boost in their confidence as well, and it helps everybody across the way be able to figure out how do we deal with these sellers' objections, and how do we help serve the sellers by being great on the phone and conversation with them, you know. So check it out, 3:30 role play, and I put the link in the seller notes. And I think that's every third Thursday we're here, virtual. We basically be some brick and mortars at times. And if you want to do deals in Baltimore, North Carolina, holler at us. If you want to holler about wholesaling and real estate, we'll share and think. We'll brainstorm with you on anything we can. And thanks everyone. Rising Tides, you got anything else you want to say?
I do. You just had a perfect closing, but I did have something else I wanted to throw out to you, Fran. One thing, and it took me a while to become comfortable with it, but one thing that really helped us early on, once we started getting deals, was becoming comfortable with partnering up with or JVing with others on deals. So until we have, and we're still constantly trying to build our cash buyers list, but if you have a hot deal, then don't be afraid to reach out to other wholesalers and see if they have end buyers. It took me a while to wrap my head around that because I saw
I was like, yeah, let's go. Let's get it out there. Let's go.
How hard Courtney worked his behind off to get these deals. And so I'm like, well, if you did all the work, like, why would we want to share our profit with somebody that's just bringing an end buyer? And I had to shift my mindset as far as that's concerned, because at the end of the day, a piece of the pie is better than no pie.
Right.
So that's just something that I would throw out too. Not that you haven't given it consideration, but I know for me, it took a while for me to jump on board with that.
Well, I can do that. And end buyer is extremely important. There's some people who that's their whole model is, instead of finding leads, they find end buyers and then connect with wholesalers out there. So get on as many buyers lists as you can from wholesalers. Not only does it help you see the market and see like what things are going for, but you might also, as you cultivate your buyers list, as she was referring to, they would make those connections, and that is valuable. That's valuable. So yeah, cheers, folks. Holla at us.
Thank you guys for coming.
Yeah, appreciate you. Being there.
All right, no problem. Thank you all.
Friend. Look forward to chatting with y'all more.
All right.
Everyone.
Bye.